The okapi, with its unique appearance, is like no other African mammal. Or is it? From the dense jungle of the Congo, this mysterious beast appears to be made up of different animals. Some say it looks like a horse with giraffe ears and a zebra's legs. It's only been seen in glimpses as it quickly disappears back into the jungle. But this animal is real, and though it has a bit of an identity crisis, it's intriguing nonetheless. The okapi is the only close relative to the modern-day giraffe. In fact, it is sometimes called the forest giraffe because of where it lives. They were only officially discovered in the year 1901, making them the last large mammal discovered on the African continent. Their heads look similar, complete with incredibly long tongues. The tongue helps them strip leaves and buds from trees, just like a giraffe does. But more importantly, at 14 inches, the tongue is long enough to wash their eyelids and clean their ears. But still, no matter how hard it tries, the okapi just can't reach the heights of its taller cousin. The okapi is no small fry, though. It's about 6 feet tall at the head and can weigh up to 700 pounds. That's about the size of a horse. While its back is dark red, its legs and rump have horizontal white stripes that look very similar to a zebra's. Scientists aren't sure why the okapi has stripes. One theory is camouflage, but another theory is that they may help baby okapis follow their parents through the thick forest. The okapi used to be called the African unicorn because it was so rare and hard to find in the wild. Yet another identity to struggle with. Luckily, the mishmash of traits is working for it. The okapi's big ears can hear trouble coming from far away, which has allowed it to successfully evade predators by slipping into the forest. The mysterious way they communicate helps too. Okapis speak the same way elephants do, using infrasound. These calls are so low they're below the human range of hearing. These low vibrations can travel far distances through the dense rainforest, which lets them communicate with each other without alerting potential predators. They're not big talkers, though. Okapis are so shy, they spend a good chunk of their life alone. The only time they need to communicate is during mating season and between mother and child. As a creature of few needs and quiet demeanor, they have mastered the art of staying alive. At their size, the only real threat is a jaguar, and they are equipped to hear one coming. Call an okapi whatever you like, a giraffe, a zebra, a horse, it's still an okapi. When dealing with conflict, armadillos just roll up and hold it all inside. But this strategy may be causing some identity issues. The three-banded armadillo looks like a rodent in a turtle shell crossed with a croquet ball. It might look threatening with all this rugged armor plating, but underneath, it's just a big old softie. Three-banded armadillos are famous for their impressive defense strategy, rolling up into a ball. But unlike certain video game characters, the armadillo doesn't mow anybody down. It just stays ball-shaped until the danger is past. It might look silly, but it works. When it's shut tight like this, it protects the more vulnerable parts of its body, with the shell acting like a shield. The key is in those three bands in its name. The armor is made up of two domed half shells and three flexible armored bands in between. When danger is around, the armadillo can flex and snap the two body shells together to form a sphere, fitting their head and tail together. The thick leathery shell is more than just armor. It also traps in body heat and conserves water, which is very useful in the dry forests and savannas of South America. The shell itself is made up of keratin, just like human fingernails, and the plates are unique for each animal, just like fingerprints. Speaking of fingers, this armadillo's fingers are also an attempt at looking tough. While its back feet are almost like mini hooves, its front feet have 4 sharp, powerful claws. It actually walks and even runs on the tips of these crazy claws. The claws are used mostly for burrowing down into the ground to get tasty beetle larvae to slurp up using its long, sticky pink tongue that's shaped like a straw. When it's not eating, it's sleeping, up to 16 hours a day. Like most wannabe tough guys, the 3-banded armadillo tends to live alone. Although, during cold weather, it loses the tough attitude and snuggles with others in a group called a fez to stay warm. Usually it sneaks into abandoned burrows of other animals or gets cozy under dense vegetation. In the rough and tumble world of the animal kingdom, it's no surprise the 3-banded armadillo is trying to look as tough as possible. It might be a real softy underneath, but at least it's having a ball. Though these creatures may all be having some identity issues, they are definitely proving themselves as survivors in the animal kingdom. With a mishmash of traits, they defy an easy definition, but should be celebrated for their strange curiosities.